Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us across the globe, near or far. We are delighted to welcome you here to the UCD Lochlann Quinn School of Business. My name is Aoife Doherty, and I am one of the directors in the Quinn School. I'm a director of the admin area in the Quinn School, and I'm delighted to host this session today along with a number of colleagues. So I know people are still joining us, so we will just begin slowly, and I'll begin by introducing the panel today. As I said, my name is Aoife Doherty. I'm also joined by one of our academic colleagues, Dr. Mary Parkinson. Mary is a lecturer in the UCD College of Business and focuses on organizational behavior, leadership, team engagement. And Mary teaches across a range of programs at undergraduate and graduate level. But Mary is also here because she is the academic director of the BSc Business program. So it's going to focus in and speak specifically about that program, which we're highlighting today. I'm also joined by Emily Cassidy, who many of you might be familiar with or have been in contact with. Emily is our International Student Coordinator in the Quinn School and looks after international students all the way from the time they put in their application all the way through supporting students across the programs up to graduation as well. And then we are delighted to be joined by a range of our students, and one of our recent graduates, Timmy Bakare, is a recent graduate from the Bachelor of Commerce program who's currently working in Microsoft and is probably joining us from Microsoft today. Timmy just graduated in September and is going to talk a little bit about his experience in Quinn. And he has a range of experiences to draw from, including his one-year internship in Microsoft, and he was also in Deloitte before that as well. We're also joined by Helen. Helen is a final year BCom student who's taking time out from her studies, and we're at week 11 towards the end of term right now. Helen is taking a bit of time out, and I know his class at 1 o'clock. So we will try to be finished by 1, Helen, so that you can join your class. So Helen is going to talk about her time in the program as well, and specifically focusing in on her exchange experience in Singapore, which is great to see. And we're also joined by Ambe, who is one of our second year students. Ambe is on the BSc Business program, has joined us from Canada and is now in second year of her studies. So we'll reflect on her experience as our newest student joining the programs. So today, what we want to go through and highlight for you is just a quick overview of the Quinn School, where we are within the College of Business, just a little bit about our size, our scale, the programs that we offer. And the programs that we offer are of particular importance for you. We have 5 programs that we'll speak about briefly, but the one that we really want to highlight today is our BSc Business program, which is our generalist program. And Mary will talk us through that. After that, Emily will explain a little bit more about our internship exchange opportunities, the graduate outcomes, which are quite phenomenal for the College of Business and the Quinn School in particular, with 99% of students either in further study or employment 6 months after graduation. Our students will talk a little bit about their experience, and we'll have a quick wrap-up question and answer. And if there is anything throughout the seminar that you want to ask, please do so in the question and answer box at the bottom of the screen there. Okay, so diving straight in, and welcome again. The UCD Lochlann Quinn School of Business is the undergraduate area within the UCD College of Business. UCD has 6 constituent colleges. The College of Business is one of the largest ones, and we have 2 campuses, one in Belfield, and also our graduate programs are delivered in our Blackrock campus. So on the left-hand side of the screen there, we have a little bit of detail about the undergraduate area. We have 2,400 degree students spread across 5 programs. And our students come from a range of different areas within Ireland, within Dublin, and further afield. We have approximately at this point in time around 13% international students. But we also have a significant number of students who come and join us on exchange. So every semester we have around 200 students joining us from across the globe. So we are a very big, robust international school. Our 5 degree programs, and I know Emily might touch on this a little bit later, we have a range of pathways that students can join. Of course, you can apply direct entry into UCD, but we also have articulation pathways, and our longest standing articulation pathway, or our foundation pathway, is through study group. And I think we have a number of study group colleagues joining us today. So we have an international foundation program, which is based in Dublin on campus in UCD, which provides a really flexible entry pathway into our Bachelor of Commerce and our BSc Business program. And along with that as well, in our international area, we have a range of collaborative programs, 2+2 programs, 1+3 programs, which add very much to our international emphasis and focus here. And I'm just highlighting the graduate school because within the College of Business, we have undergraduate education, full-time and part-time, and overseas in our footprint in Singapore. And then our graduate programs are delivered, as I mentioned, at the Michael Smurfit Graduate School. And we have over 22 master's programs on offer. And a number of our students, particularly our international students, continue their education through from the Quinn School to graduate school, the Michael Smurfit Graduate School, when they complete with us here. And just a little bit more about the school and the important elements and important decision making when you're deciding to invest and continue your education overseas. You want to be assured that the place that you're going to is of solid reputation and ranking. The UCD Quinn School of Business is within the top 1% of business schools globally. And that is something that we work very, very hard on. We work to meet various accreditations and rankings globally, and we take it very much as a mark of our excellence and our reputation. And to put that in context, there's only around 125 business schools globally that have this triple crown of accreditation, and that is American level accreditation, European level accreditation, and graduate level accreditation. So it's something we're very proud of and always like to bring to attention. Our outstanding graduate outcomes, and Emily will speak about that. I've mentioned 99% of students within further study or in employment 6 months after graduation. The figure is in the high 70s for those in employment. Right now, the economy in Dublin is very robust, so a lot of students choose to continue straight to employment and perhaps come back to graduate programs in a number of years' time. But there's many, many options for students on graduation. And part of the options that we offer within our program as well is a 1-year paid internship. And that particularly focuses in on the BSc Business program, our Economics and Finance program, and our Bachelor of Commerce program. Because one of the things that we really place an emphasis on within the school is putting knowledge into action. So students have 2 years of study within the school, take that learning and apply it in a corporate and business context. And we found that program, that 1-year program, to be transformative for students and their experience, and particularly their learning when they return to classroom in final year. We've mentioned that we are very much a global classroom, 13% international students, but then a wealth of students joining us for a semester or a full year on exchange. And our world-class facilities, which we're very proud of, and I'll highlight in a slide later on just to show you some of the facilities we have in the Quinn School. But again, a final point on our rankings and reputation. UCD, of which we are very much part of, is ranked number 118 in the global top universities. And again, for context, 118 is a very high number out of 25,000 to 50,000 universities globally. So something the university works on. The ranking comes from a range of metrics. It comes from students, it comes from faculty research, reputation, corporate engagement, all these things that UCD places an emphasis on, along with sustainability. And in recent rankings, we are ranked number 44 globally for our sustainability focus in UCD. So we will share these with you afterwards as well, but you can see here that we have within the top 150 for our subject areas for business and management and accounting and finance, which is our main focus of education here in the Quinn School. And as I mentioned, sometimes it's better to see than to describe. So here is just a quick view of the Quinn School. On the top left-hand corner of the screen here, we have a picture of one of our largest lecture theatres. And this photograph is actually taken from our orientation session in first year, where we welcome in 322 students into this room. And we do a range of welcomes and meet and greets for our eager first year students. On the right-hand side is just our main atrium, and our flags represent the areas that our students are coming from. And we have students coming from over 40 different countries in the Quinn School of Business. Across the bottom here, you can see students just in different areas across the school. We have lots of flexible learning spaces. We have open spaces for group work, and we have smaller nooks and crannies for independent study. So we cater to lots of different learning styles and preferences and lots of different ways for students to engage outside of classroom. So Moving on to talk about the programs that we offer. Since 1908, we have offered our Bachelor of Commerce program. That is our heritage program. It has been on offer for a very long time, and we have a significant number of global alumni who've come through this program. It is either a 3-year or a 4-year program, depending on whether students choose to do a 1-year internship. It is generalist in nature. In its first and second year, students take a range of modules across all the business disciplines that we offer within the College of Business. So marketing, finance, accounting, management, HRM, economics. So a range of disciplines in first year and second year. And then by final year, there's the opportunity to focus study into the area of particular interest. So students might choose to do a range of accounting modules in final year, or they might decide to combine with accounting and finance. It really is up to students. And that's determined by a range of factors, including students' preference, things that they find interesting or more engaging across first year and second year, but also informed by global opportunities, exchanges they may have been part of, an internship placement that might have really become something that they want to focus on and deepen studies in final year. So it's a very, very flexible program. As is our newest program, which is the BSc Business program, which started in 2020. It is a sister program to the Bachelor of Commerce, but really with a focus and a lens on a global market. So the opportunities are very similar to the Bachelor of Commerce, and I know that Mary's going to talk about it more in depth. But one of the lens and the strands in this program is about intercultural competencies and communications. So that is the differentiating factor between the BSc Business and the Bachelor of Commerce, but the opportunities remain very similar. For those that are interested in pursuing language and business, we offer the Bachelor of Commerce International Program, which is 4 years of business education with combined business and language. And the 3rd year of study, students will be abroad studying in their host country language. And the languages on offer are German, Italian, Spanish, French, and Chinese. So students study in UCD 2 years and then 1 year abroad. So it allows some degree of specialization, but we have to bear in mind that it is a combination program of business and language. The 4th program that we want to mention today is our Economics and Finance program, which is a quantitative finance program and very specialist in nature. It is very competitive entry, a very popular program. We take in maybe 75 students every year. A similar structure, 2 years of study within UCD, 1 year in optional internship, and a final year special study on return to the Quinn School of Business. So the focus on this really is on quantitative analysis. So first year and second year are very much based on financial maths, underpinning further learning with quantitative techniques. So it is a very robust program, and for those who have a strong interest and aptitude for maths is how I would define it. And then our final program to mention is our Business and Law program, which is a joint program with the UCD Sutherland School of Law. It is 4 years of study and is a combined major between business and law. So it is a little bit less optionality. Students have to take a combined subject area of business and law for 3 years, and then by final year, they have the option to specialize a little bit more in business or law, but you can't drop either area because it is a double major program. And across all these programs, and this really is just a whirlwind tour of the programs, across all these programs, there are embedded opportunities. The internships I've mentioned, global study abroad I've mentioned, all of them include an exchange opportunity. An exchange isn't the only global opportunity that we offer within the Quinn School. We have a range of short programs. We have international engagement opportunities like the Model United Nations in Harvard or New York. We have short insert weeks. On the bottom left-hand corner there is a photo taken from us in March when we brought students to the American University in Cairo for an immersion week. And we aim to pepper programs with lots of opportunities, not just a full semester. And our breadth and reach of global partners is between 70 and 100 partners, and we're part of a range of global networks, including PIM, SEMS, a range of networks that broadens our stretch and reach of partners. So we're always looking for something new and engaging to offer students, and this is just a small snapshot of those opportunities. So as we continue, I'm going to hand over to Mary, and Mary is going to talk us through a little bit more in depth the BSc Business program.
Hi, thanks so much, Aoife, for that introduction. So I'm the academic director of the BSc Business, which is a very special program at Quinn. So, as Aoife mentioned, there's a focus on developing these real-world business skills with a focus on intercultural competencies. So, it is especially fantastic for students that have a real interest in international management. Now, that said, it's also a very flexible program. So, I'll just give you a little bit of an overview of the structure now. Just a little glance, a whirlwind tour, as Aoife said, of the degree. It's a 3-year degree. Now it is 3 years unless you choose to do the optional internship program, which Emily is going to talk about in a couple of minutes, which is a fantastic opportunity. You'll also have an optional trimester abroad in year 2. Again, fantastic opportunity to travel and develop those intercultural competencies. And one of the really distinguishing features of the BSc Business is that you have these intercultural modules where you will develop those skills for a more global focus. Some of the subjects that you'll be covering will be things like global business, global operations and supply chain management, strategy, of course. And our students have gone into careers in areas like management and consultancy, HR management, marketing, a really, really wide range of possibilities when you finish the degree. So I'll just give you a brief overview of what the structure is like. In the first 2 years, the real focus is just building a really strong foundation in these core competencies. You'll have some electives, but the main focus is just developing these really key skills. So you'll be doing modules in areas like maths for business and business law, digital business, financial accounting, but you will also be doing these special modules that are unique to the BSc Business. In your first year, for example, you'll take a module in exploring your host country. So in this module, you literally explore Dublin and Ireland and local organizations as well. So really getting a stronger sense of the environment here. And then in your second year, you'll also learn more of your intercultural competencies and about global workplaces, and also about specifically business in the EU. Now, so that's the first 2 years, right? So those are just building those foundational skills. Now, when you get to your third year, you'll have the option for a paid internship, which again, Emily is going to discuss that a little bit more. But again, this is an option. So if you choose to make it a 3-year degree, you'll go straight to the final stage. Now, this is where you really get to design your own program. So you have these core modules, like you'll have business strategy and you'll develop a personal portfolio, but you'll have a huge range of options to choose from to tailor your learning. So you might choose to stay a generalist, so to take a range of modules in different areas to develop a broader skill set. You might choose to focus on modules that are relating to global business specifically, but previously we've had students that wanted to focus on finance or accounting or HR, and they were able to choose modules to serve those needs. So I'll just give you a brief overview of some of the modules that you might get to choose from. We're very lucky in the Quinn School of Business that we have a really strong set of expertise in our faculty in a really wide range of areas. So you'll have a choice of over 70 modules in things like HRM, global marketing, leadership and change management. And if your interests are outside of the business school, there are also some modules that you'll be able to choose from there. So previously students have had an interest in real estate, for example, and they've been able to choose some modules that were outside of the College of Business. What I want to talk to you now about is just a little bit about the learning environment that is in Quinn, because I think it's something that's very special. So I am, of course, academic director, but I also teach. And Quinn School of Business is, I think, very unique in that there are some fantastic new facilities which are amazing for active learning. But I think what is really special about it is that your instructors make a really substantial effort to connect what you learn in the classroom to the world outside, right? So for example, I use a lot of business simulations and case studies so that my students can immediately see the relevance of what they're learning. So they learn the theory, but apply it immediately so that they can see how it's practiced, right? I have a fantastic colleague who teaches negotiations, who gets her students to negotiate against AI, to do external consultancy projects, and even has had students coach external organizations through large purchases, right? So by doing this, students can very quickly see the relevance of what they're learning, but it also helps that learning to stick. And of course, given the rapidly changing world that we are in these days, we also have a strong emphasis on transferable skills like critical thinking and problem solving. So things that will really help you to deal with the world we have today, to be globally engaged citizens, but also to problem solve in a rapidly changing environment. So just to then finish up, we also have this fantastic opportunity to do an exchange in the spring term of your second year. Now, something to note about this that's special is that these are English-speaking exchanges. So students have gone to countries like Belgium, like Australia, Singapore. And the thing about this that distinguishes it from some of the other programs is that you don't need to have an additional language. And again, it's a fantastic opportunity to develop those intercultural skills, but it's also just a great opportunity and experience in general. So we also, as I've mentioned, have an internship opportunity that is a 1-year paid placement that is an option for you in your third year. And I'm going to hand over to Emily now, who's going to tell you about that in a bit more detail.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was a wonderful overview of our BSc Business program. So let's see, before we get into our career supports, I am going to speak with you a little bit about our scholarships that are available to students. So once you apply, and submit your application. Sorry, could we just go to the scholarship side? Great. So once you apply, our global centers will assess your applications, and if you are granted an offer to come study with us in the School of Business, your application will also be assessed for an international student scholarship. So these scholarships are worth 3,000 to 7,000 euros off your tuition each year. You can also apply for other scholarships, including the Global Excellence Scholarship. So these scholarships are 50% tuition or 100%, worth 100% tuition. Again, you have to apply for these scholarships. And I believe the application deadlines vary according to your global center. So for North America, if you're applying from North America, the deadline would be in March. Also within the school, we have what are called our Business Global VPI scholarships. So we will grant these scholarships to students who are reserve candidates for the Global Excellence Scholarship. So just because you aren't granted a Global Excellence Scholarship doesn't necessarily mean you're out of the running for a scholarship. And then also for our continuing students within this school, we do grant small awards and prizes for students who finish at the top of their stage or finish at the top of their class for certain modules. These students are granted about 500 euros or 1,000 euros for a small prize. So I'll just go on to our next slide and show you some images from our most recent scholarship and awards ceremony. So every year, the school puts together a ceremony to recognize the students who are scholarship and award and prize recipients. And it's a really special evening where we celebrate the achievements and honor our students who have received these scholarships and awards. So now I'm going to go on and speak about our career supports. So within the Quinn School of Business, it is very important for us to set our students up for success. And this begins in stage 1, when the students enter the school in their first year of studies. So during that first year, we have a program that we call Quinn Sites, which involve insight days to the headquarters of some of our partnering employers. So students on these days go and visit the offices, they attend presentations, they connect and network with alumni there who are working at these offices and learn more about what it's like to work in some of these environments. In stage 2, we have an alumni mentoring program that's available to students. So students are paired with an alum who is a mentor, and they meet up several times over the course of a year and go over career guidance. The mentors will check their CVs, they'll provide mock interviews, or just, again, tell them more about what it's like to be in the working world. Also in stage 2, students can apply to go on our London finance study trip. So this is similar to our Quinn Sites program, but students go to the offices of some of the large financial firms in London for a few days. Then in stage 3, we of course have our internship program, which you've heard a little bit about. I'll tell you more about that in a moment, in a few slides. But I'd also like to highlight our UCD Career Network. So we have a separate careers office here on campus that's dedicated to helping students, again, prepare for their career after graduation. We also have a very robust business alumni network. We have more than 91,000 business alumni located in 143 countries all over the world. So no matter where you end up after graduation, you can be assured that you're not too far away from another alum. And finally, within the school, we also have careers fairs and employer talks throughout the year. There's always something going on within the school. So I'll just show you a few more images on our next slide from some of our Quinn Sites days and our recent London finance consulting trip that happened back in August. So for our Quinn Sites days this year, some of the students visited the offices of AIB and Vodafone and Apple Green, and in previous years they went to Microsoft. So those are just a few images for you. So we'll go on to our internship program. So the internship program, as you've heard, is a year-long paid work placement. All of the placements are fully paid, and the average salary this year was about 25,000 to 30,000 euro per annum. So this year you can see 275 students participated in the program with 77 different employers, and most of these employers are returning employers, which speaks to the success of the program. The employers see this as a good recruitment tool, and a lot of the students can receive graduate job offers upon the successful completion of the internship. I will mention that we have reduced the fee rate for the internship year for international students. So yes, in order to make this a more accessible program for everyone, we've reduced the fee by about 75%. So for international students, normally you would have to pay 22,000 euro in tuition each year. Before the internship year, students will pay between 5,000 and 6,000 for that year. So you can also see some of our top internship employers from this year include PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, EY, and KKR. And I've spoken with quite a few students who have come back from their internship, and they all are so much more confident. You can tell that this experience does so much for their personal and professional development. So it's no wonder that with all of these career supports that we provide to students, that we have exceptional graduate outcomes within the school. In fact, according to our most recent graduate survey, 99% of our graduates from the Quinn School of Business were able to secure employment or go on to further education within the first 6 months of graduation. And UCD itself is ranked #1 in Ireland for employment outcomes. So I'll just show you a snapshot of the class of 2025 here. So these students graduated just a few months ago, but you can see they're already in employment or they've gone on to further education. So Timmy, our first student here on this slide here, is one of our panelists you'll hear from in a minute, but he studied commerce and he is now in Microsoft. Actually, he completed an internship with Microsoft and they offered him a graduate job offer. So we'll come back to Timmy in a minute. Neve here is from the United States, and she studied BSc Business. She's now working for Disney. Xander Dean Zhao studied Economics and Finance, and he's the founder of an AI startup called Athena. Kanishta here studied Commerce, and now she's working in Deloitte in Ireland. Sergey from Russia studied Commerce as well, and he's now studying MSc Finance in the Smurfit School of Business. And finally, Yiling here is from China, and she studied economics and finance and is now studying at Trinity for her master's in statistics and sustainability. So you can see the students end up in a variety of places after graduation. On our next slide, I'll just show you some of our top 10 employers from this year, which include, again, KPMG, PwC, EY, Deloitte, Grant Thornton. So those are some of the big professional firms, but also if you look on the left side of the slide here, we also have employers including Google, Amazon, Apple Green, and the Central Bank of Ireland. So I'd now like to introduce our student panelists. I'm delighted to introduce two of our current students and one of our recent graduates. So if you guys could turn on your cameras, that'd be great. So first, we're going to hear from a second-year student, Ambe Kumar. She is from Canada and she's studying BSc Business. Then we'll hear from Helen Tong. So Helen is a final year student studying commerce. She's been involved in quite a few things during her time here in the school. She's completed the year-long internship program, a summer internship where she's received return offers from both employers. She's also been on exchange in Singapore. She'll tell us a bit about that. And then finally, we're going to hear from Temi in just a few minutes. So Temi just graduated. He studied commerce and he completed his internship year with Microsoft and received a return offer as a financial analyst. So we're happy to have you all here today. So Ambe, I'll start with you first. Could you tell us why you chose to study at UCD, why you chose your course, and could you tell us a little bit about how it's going? I think on the next slide we have some photos that you had sent in.
Hi, so I'm Ambe. I'm from Canada, Toronto specifically. I came to UCD mainly for the internship offers that they have in many Canadian universities, whereas internships are good. UCD is just more special on that because 90 or about 90% of people that apply for internships get one, which is an insanely high number. And I really wanted to do an internship. I really was something I'm interested in. I also wanted to study internationally, and I wanted to study in a good university where I'll see like a new perspective of different things. And Dublin and UCD was where I found that.
That's wonderful. And Ambe, you didn't know anyone when you arrived, right? I remember the first day you arrived on campus, and you were walking around, and we ended up going for a stroll around the school. But now you're a seasoned veteran, and you've made your network of friends. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I have many different friends from like all around campus doing different programs and stuff. Mainly I made friends just from going to classes and events. Like a lot of societies have coffee mornings, and I would just go there, talk to some people, and we became friends. Electives also, none of my electives are in the Quinn School. They're all in unique, different buildings and different subject areas. And I just meet people who are also interested in those topics and become friends with them.
Good, good. And you're studying BSc Business, which has a few intercultural based modules. So I know this semester you're taking global competencies. What is that module called?
Intercultural competencies of a global workplace.
Yes. Could you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, so this module is mainly about understanding how different people from different cultures behave, think, understand the values, and understand how to be like someone who collaborates and cares about other people and manages to work efficiently, caringly, be a good person in general, whilst getting a lot of work done and understanding how just different mindsets combine into like a unique, beautiful thing.
Wow. And do you think this module will help you as you're preparing for your career after graduation?
Yes, I've learned so many unique things. Like I learned there's high context, context culture, which is like direct beat, like people who talk beat while beating around the bus, and people who don't, and how to like go work around that. That is something I didn't know. I come from a culture where you don't beat around the bush, you just talk. And I didn't know that can be offensive. And learning about that was very valuable to me because now I know how to care about other people in that specific way.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ambe. Um, okay, I'm going to move on to Helen now. So Helen, you studied in the Singapore Management University a few years ago. Could you tell us about your exchange experience, please?
Yeah, so I was in Singapore for a semester exchange, and it's completely different for me, although I'm from Malaysia, but still a different learning styles compared to UCD. So they have like a very different bidding system where we have to pick our modules. It's not like in UCD, we could just pick our modules on the selected time. We have to like bid all the modules with the other, all the same stages students. So if we're like late, we could not get the the time that we would like. For example, I had classes from 5 p.m. until like 10 p.m. So it's like horrible for me, but still it's a different experience compared to in UCD. Yeah, so in Singapore, I get to meet a lot of different classmates and students from all around Asia, but not just Asia, like from Europe countries or like US. So we're all in like a same class, and they have like a very different styles, as in like we have to participate actively in the class for in order to get a good grades for the participation mark. So it's kind of like a small tutorial lecture or even like classes. So we have to like speak actively in order to answer all the questions from the lectures. So this really make us communicate effectively and voice out in the class, because all of us definitely want to get good grades, right? Yeah. And they have like a lot of different societies in Singapore Management University. So I actually joined the international club, so I get to meet with different people from all around the world. So they actually share their experiences. How do they feel in Singapore? Like where do they go travel? Because we mainly have three days a week for all the classes. So apart from the time we actually travel around Asia. So for me, I actually go back Malaysia quite frequent because it's just like an hour flight. So I really enjoy the time in Singapore.
Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that, Helen. I might also ask you just briefly about both of your internships. Could you tell us about your year-long internship program and the summer internship and how you found those experiences?
So I did my summer internship in EY, just like 8 weeks programs, and I did a year-long internship in KPMG, so it's 11 months year-long. Both are quite different for me because in EY, I joined the assurance audit associate department, while in KPMG, I joined the consumer industry market department. So both are quite different. While in EY, it's just 8 weeks. So I mainly learned how do we set up things being audit in company, doing all the tasks that my team asked me to do. While in KPMG, I actually get like a lot of hands-on experience because it's 11 months year-long internship. So I actually work with different groups, different teams. And I even, because in consumer team, we have to take something called stock take. So I have to travel around like UK or other countries to do all the stock take thing. So these are really different and a new experience for me, considering a pathway transition from being a student to professionals working. So I think it's really a good experience, especially when I have to return to UC to complete my final year. As what I learned in the company, I could apply back in my final year.
Fantastic. Gosh, that's great that you had the experience to work in two different environments, and now you have a better idea maybe of what yeah, you'd like to do. Okay, thank you so much, Helen. And finally, Timmy, thank you so much for joining us today, Timmy. I know you're in work right now, so we'll try not to keep you too long. But Timmy, you just graduated, and you're already working at Microsoft, so that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Could you tell us how you ended up back at Microsoft, and again about your internship experience? And you've been involved in so many things too throughout your time in UCD, but let's start with your internship and your graduate job as a financial analyst.
Yeah, for sure. So during the Quinn internship program, I had the great honor of being able to go to Microsoft. I joined as an operations program manager intern. A bit convoluted, but essentially I was working in the back office of Microsoft, and I was able to learn so much. And I think I really just want to harken the point that you gave, that is, being able to apply my learnings from university felt amazing. But what even felt more amazing was being able to come back and see those learnings in practice. So then I spent a year at Microsoft. It was a great time. We also have quite a strong alumni network in the corporate world, which enables us to, reach out to different mentors, develop those relationships, and also get a sense of, hey, is this if what I'm doing is right? If, I need any advice on anything. So that was also a great help too. And, by the end of my internship, they were happy with my performance and I was able to join back as a financial analyst. And I think that was a great opportunity that I was able to avail of through the Quinn internship program.
Fantastic. And I guess it's going so well since you've returned too.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, Thank you so much, Tammy. So you've sent in these photos. Thank you so much. So you went to Harvard a few years ago. Is that right? For the national
Yeah.
model. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, for sure. So it's a part of the Investors and Entrepreneurs Society that we have at the Quinn School. And essentially, what Model UN is we go in and model the actual United Nations. So we'd represent different nation states. We're not allowed to represent our own. And we debate on topical issues that are affecting us, you know, globally today. So it could be anything from youth unemployment within the International Labor Organization, or even something goofy like, I don't know, aliens in space, and all the defense forces from the different countries are discussing how they're going to tackle this issue. And, I found out about it from a friend, and, I'd been in the Investors and Entrepreneur Society for a while. And I felt, hey, why not try something new? Maybe it'll help my public speaking skills. Worst case is I'll meet some new people. And, after really getting engaged and, learning about it and getting more involved, I heard about this opportunity. And then, I went to a few of the training sessions and I got selected. And I went to Harvard and it was an amazing experience being able to meet all those different people. Like, speaking of being like a multicultural space, I think having that opportunity to like go out and be encouraged by the university to go out and get those different perspectives, I think was really interesting and really powerful.
Fantastic. Gosh, yeah, that does sound like an incredible experience. Um, so I read your article. So you're featured on the UCD alumni website here, and we might post that in the chat as well. But okay, so your background is so you're from Ireland, but you also have Nigerian roots too. And in your article, I think you referenced that you weren't sure or you were nervous about fitting in. Is that right? Even though like you're from Ireland. And so how did you find that once you actually joined the school in UCD?
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, I feel like it's a natural feeling anywhere to have, I guess, you could say preconceived notions about what a place is going to be like. And I think for me, like I had put UCD on such a big pedestal for such a long time that I was quite nervous going in. And I think after having been, there for 4 years, I realized that I was maybe being a bit dramatic. Like from the first day that I entered into UCD's doors, I felt immensely welcomed. I felt like I could really find good connections here. People were more than happy to help. And if there were any doubts, I say they would have been gone within the first week. I think it's really a space where you can be your authentic self. And that's probably one of the things that I appreciate most about my university experience.
That's fantastic. And I think that's what most of our international students say. Like once they step on this campus too, or domestic and international, they do feel welcomed here. We have so many different nationalities. Helen, would you like to speak to your experience coming here as a Malaysian student?
Yeah, sure. So, of course, during the first year, I have the same feeling as Tini as well, being nervous, not sure if I would able to adapt here. But I'm lucky enough to have to meet like a lot of friends here in UCD Commerce. But not just like commerce and also all the societies that I've joined. And also I've joined like a few societies in UCD that I'm able to meet a lot of people from different countries. I joined the peer mentor and the student ambassador. So we get to like share our experiences, our background, and helping each other out whenever we have help. We need help. So yeah, being able to know a lot of people in the class is really important as we'll be working in group projects and also like assignments, everything. So I think throughout the 4 years, it really changed me a lot that I'm so glad that I know a lot of friends from commerce or even all the societies.
Fantastic. It's so important to build your network once you get here. And so many people are coming by themselves where they don't know friends ahead of time, but they just have to be willing to put themselves out there and introduce themselves to people. Let's see, Temi, Helen, and Ambe, would any of you like to share maybe some advice or guidance that you would give prospective students?
I can go first. I think I have it in my alumni post actually, but the one thing that I'd really say is, take advantage of all the opportunities that are available. They're there for you, and I feel like you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't. You're able to do so many incredible things, experience different, you know, environments, scenarios, workplaces, and with all the support that you get, it makes it so easy and you're able to really, really thrive.
Yeah, I think just join as many as societies that possible because when you enter the workplace, you'll definitely miss being a student in UCD. Just be more active that you can join all the societies that you can meet new friends. Yeah.
I would also add that don't like hide yourself. Go if you find something in an email or on a post that you find even mildly interesting, go there. This is the time to like just have fun. So go there, you'll meet fun people. And if you don't enjoy it, you don't enjoy it. That's fine. You don't have to go there again. But do find something there that there's something available for everyone in UCD for everything.
Fantastic. I'd agree with all of that advice from the three of you. Um, is there anything else that the three of you would like to share? No problem if not. We've covered a lot today, but any final words at all? No. Okay, great, great. Thank you so much then to our three student panelists, or two student panelists and one graduate panelist. So we're coming to the end of the webinar now, so I'd just like to share a few final next steps. So I know some of you have submitted your applications. Great job, but if you're still working on them, go ahead and complete your applications. I know for a North America crowd, we have the early application deadline coming up on December 1st. So hopefully, I know that the timeline can vary from region to region, but hopefully once you submit your application, you'll have a decision within a few weeks to a month. So once you receive your decision, hopefully you all receive offers. Go ahead and accept your offer. Once you accept your offer, you should receive information about booking on-campus accommodation shortly after that. Also, book one-on-one meetings. So when you receive your offer, I will be reaching out to each of you individually, and we can connect over email or over Zoom, and I can address any questions or concerns you or your parents or guardians might have. Please attend in-person events. So within each of the global regions, I know the global centers put on in-person events. And this is an excellent opportunity for you to meet other students and offer holders who are thinking about coming to UCD. So you can connect with them before you come all the way over to Dublin. Please continue to check your emails regularly so you don't miss any updates. And go ahead and check out the key dates for the Global Excellence Scholarships. It's worth sending in an application for those scholarships. We've also included some useful resources here, the UCD Global website, and you do receive an offer holder pack once you receive an offer for your undergraduate program. Okay, so thank you so much again for joining us today for this webinar. We hope that you found it insightful. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me at this email address or to go to our website. Thank you, everyone.